is she to try, like, in her defending Forrest, is also putting him down. And, like, the fact that it's just Jenny. It's just Jenny.
Yeah, yeah. It happens so much through the movie, and as I said before, continuous pattern. It's like when she's singing on that stage with the guitar, and he goes in and he beats those people away, and then they walk across that bridge, and she says, "You got to stop doing this, Forrest." And he goes, "I can't help it. I love you." And then Forrest, like, he realizes in that moment that people can be kind and cruel at the same time, like you were saying. Like, Jenny rejects any kind of connection that he sort of goes and puts toward her, and she runs whenever Forrest gets close. So he literally just said, "I can't help it, I love you." And the next thing Jenny does is she threatens to jump off the bridge, and then she gets in a stranger's car. So she's got this reaction to anybody showing any kind of affection to her that is extremely like, no, 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 get away. And, she cares, but she's very frightened to open up in that space. And then it happens again when they meet in our nation's capital, when she's like really happy to see him. She's really, really happy to see him. And they have that awesome, like, it's such an awesome scene when, Forrest in his military uniform and Jenny in the hippie outfit sort of hug in front of the Washington Monument. Because I think that's the value that a lot of people looking back in America sort of wanted. They wanted that peace, and they wanted that togetherness, and they wanted that harmony. And there was a lot of division between those two sort of parties. And that actual image is like, it's one of my favorites in the whole movies. But I really liked in that scene where she's sort of with yet another idiot in that sort of Black Panther sequence, and he actually like beats her and then, all other elements around Forrest then just sort of disappear. The sound swells to a point where literally the only thing in Forrest's view is getting that guy that just hurt Jenny.
Yeah.
And then, he defends her from the abuser, and he shows that view of kindness towards her again as he's confronting and defending her. And then she again says, he doesn't mean it when he does things like this. He really doesn't. And then Forrest says to Jenny, "I would never hurt you, Jenny." And then Jenny says, "I know you wouldn't, Forrest." Forrest says, "I wanted to be your boyfriend." And then Jenny's really silent. She changes the topic to how good he looks in his uniform and how handsome he looks. And then Forrest brings that connection back up, and he goes, "I'm glad we're together again in our nation's capital." Then the very next scene, that abuser comes back, and he goes, "Last night got out of hand." And then he says the exact same line Forrest said. He says, "I would never hurt you, Jenny." He says the same thing that Forrest said. And he goes, "You know that." And it's the same words Forrest says, but she believes it from him and not from Forrest, because, again, she's sort of really sort of rejecting that form of pure love that Forrest is trying to give her. And she says, "We live very different lives, Forrest." And she goes, this is my favorite line in the whole movie. She goes, "Why are you so good to me all the time?" And then Forrest says, "'Cause you're my girl." And then she says, "I'll always be your girl." And then that song Turn, Turn, Turn plays, because I think what the filmmakers are saying is that's when Jenny starts to realize and change her perspective as to the fact that maybe I do deserve something a little bit more. Because in the scenes after that, she's definitely still falling into old habits, but I think she's more likely to leave those people. Like, she'll go and leave people on her own now instead of Forrest coming and bailing her out of it. So you see her like leave that guy on New Year's, just walk out of the apartment, and she's sort of moving through life on her own. So she's sort of slowly getting better because Forrest keeps sort of showing up for her and showing her that she has value and giving her that unconditional love, because he's got a really strong value of loyalty. So I think that Jenny is definitely a character who is a victim of her past, but I do think that she does treat Forrest like not very good at times.
Yeah.